After this, you should know about what is now 2D plane. Now, let us compare it with 2D. Now, let us imagine we have another column. Now, we will take two column. Okay. Now, I am writing only PG ID. That is means passenger ID. And now I am taking the column of age. And these are now my two columns. Okay. Now, these are my two columns. Okay. Now,
Yes, sir.
uh, look at here. I have passenger ID like 1, 2, 3, 4, and age is like 20, 50, 35, 40. Like this way. Now I am having the age. Now, what is this? Now here I have two dimensions. First of all, I have this dimension, and along with now I have this dimension, because I have columns like in this format. In the x-axis I have columns, in the y-axis I am having my values, and it is known as these are my columns and these are my rows,
Rose.
right? And that's why it is known as a 2D data set. It is having 2D data set because we have two directions, like this one and this one. And because this is the basic concept of your dimensions, and it is mainly used in our pandas. Okay, this is the basic things which is I am teaching here. Nobody will teach you like this. Okay, now you know
Yes, sir.
why. Okay, now what there is the procedure. By default the number of this y direction is a 0, and if you have to go in this direction of x, so you have to write down as a 1. Okay, now let us see why we are learning all these things as of now. Because there we are getting the data type, we are checking the data type. So we have checked that the data type of this of single column, it is showing us as a 4 series. Now I will get the two data set. I will check with my two data set, and look at here. I am writing one this square bracket. That means it is having one directional. Okay. Now I have to write down two dimensional data set. So tell me how much square bracket I have to apply there.
Sir, two.
Two square bracket type
Yes, sir.
of my data, and then I'm writing two square brackets, and inside this I'm writing my same this passenger ID data, and
सर
then
पर ये स्क्वायर
what?
सर ये स्क्वायर ब्रैकेट ही क्यों यूज कर रहे हैं, कर्ली क्यों नहीं कर रहे, क्योंकि ये तो नॉर्मल इंडेक्स है ना सर.
No, no, actually we have learned the topic of a list before
हाँ
this.
ये सर
How
लिस्ट है. हाँ ये सर.
there we perform the operation of slicing, how to
हाँ
fetch
ये
all
सर, ये
this.
सर.
If we are having tuple, still we apply square bracket to fetch that specific index number, right?
यस सर, यस. हाँ सर,
Now
पर
passenger,
सर लिस्ट सर ये तो इंडेक्स में जैसे पैसेंजर आईडी सर इंडेक्स हो गया जैसे ये डेटा सेट में, तो इसीलिए इस करली बोल रहा था सर मैं, मतलब.
I'm not getting your question. What you are asking that?
सर ये इंडेक्स है ना सर, पैसेंजर आईडी सर्वाइव्ड पी क्लास.
Okay.
हाँ तो सर वो इसलिए मैं बोला कि इंडेक्स में तो सर नॉर्मल कर्व ब्रैकेट से अपन फेच कर सकते हैं ना.
No, no, no. Whenever we have to fetch, actually, these are the slicing operation, and that's why we have learned this in a basic Python, how to fetch all these things. So that's why
यस सर.
look at here. If you have to fetch the index, so there is again the part of LOC and ILOC. That means index location and local index
हाँ.
location. Okay, there is a
Yes, sir.
separate part for it. Okay, just wait for a few time, you will get to know about all these things. Okay,
Okay, okay, sir.
now I am taking two columns. Okay, now I am taking this survived column. Now I will check the data type of this. Now it is showing me as pandas.core frame dataset. That means now we have a frame. Now frame having two directions, right? Like this, and that's why it is known as a frame. And
Yes,
I
sir.
think that you have to note down all these things in your notes. Okay, whatever
Yes,
you
sir.
want to make a note. One directional data, two directional data. Okay, now you know the difference between one directional data and the two directional data, and that is
Yes,
which
sir.
is known as series data and or frame data. Okay,
Yes, sir.
now after this, look at here, we can also do one thing similar with this uh, frame data, whichever having only one single column. Now I will simply apply. I am first of all copying this as it is. Okay, now I'm just applying two square bracket here. That means what I am telling him that now this is my two directional data. Okay, now it is telling me us that it is now showing me four frame data set, right? But still we have only one column, and it is assuming that there is nothing inside my y direction, in x direction, right?
Yes, sir.
That's why it is showing me now as a four frame data set. Okay, now
Yes, sir.
after this, what we have to do, we have to start to do the analysis of individual columns. Okay, now we will take our two columns. Okay, now let us try to fetch two columns data. Otherwise, we have already two columns here. And remember one thing, that if we will learn this pandas, then Excel will be too much boring for you. Okay, now
Okay,
look
sir.
at here. After this, I am able to get the two columns. Now you can write down whatever columns you want here, right?
Yes.
Okay, now what can we do that? Now let us imagine that if we have something, our data set. Okay, now we have already our Titanic data set there, right? Now, if there are the column names already available, but if we want to change all these column names, so still we can do that this one with the help of again while reading our data set. Now I will take one another data set from a Kaggle. Okay, now I will take passengers, sorry, airline passengers data, and with the GitHub. Now why I'm using GitHub? Yeah, CSV file, but there is another one thing, that here is the one raw format. I don't need to download this data set. Okay, now I'm simply copying this data set. Now I will write down like you know how to read data set, pd dot read CSV. Inside that CSV, we are going to paste down our link, right? Now after this, I want to change the column name. So after this code, I am writing one comma, and then I will write down whatever names of columns I want to write down. Okay, now look at here, names is one option available. Now how much columns I have, tell me, inside that data set, 1 and 2.
2.
So we can write down that names of columns by our convenience, like A and then comma B. Now look at here, we have changed the data, sorry, column names of this, right? Now let us continue on our data set of this uh, Titanic. Okay, now what I am doing, that data of my one column which is having age, dot dot, just give me the detailed description of my this one column of age. Now it is also giving me the single description of this age column. Similarly, like that way, data of my age column dot describe. Now it is giving me the details information about my single column. So first of all, try to write down where from you are going to write, from info, right? Info.
Sir, sir, I written, sir. Sir, scroll down, sir.
Okay, there are another students here, so they are writing now.
Okay, 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 sir. Okay.
No worry, you can take any data set from online, but you have to write down names in a list, and you have to write down only that much names, whatever number of columns are available there. If you will write down one more or one less name, so it will give you error. Okay, now what we have to do, first of all, again I'm checking the data dot d types. Now what is this d types? Data types. Now there are the different data types which is having object, integer, float. We have all these three categories. Now what we have to do, we have to start to do the analysis of a data set which is having numerical and non-numerical, right? That means whoever having data set of object, so that will be known as a non-numeric, and who is having data set having non-object data, that means non-object means object, right? That way we will get our numerical data. Okay, now what we have to do, data, and then inside that data I am applying the filter of data dot data dot d types. Now you know what is this d types, right? D types, if I will write down only d types dot, okay, now I will not directly jump to that step. Data dot d types dot index. Index means just giving me that column names of that data types. That means I am writing this index means don't write down all this data, just write down my index names, right? Now look at here what I am doing, that I am now applying first of all filter of my data, because that is my entire data present. Now entire this data I am writing now one filter of data dot d types. Now you know what is d types. D types means all this. Now inside this d types I am writing one thing, that is data dot d types who is having d types equal to, that means who is having data types equal to, let us say, object, who is having my data set having this. So give me this data. Okay, what is wrong? Okay, I think we have did one mistake. From this data types dot index, right? Data types dot index. Now still item wrong, length 12 instead of 12. Okay, first of all, fetch, we will fetch by line data, then data dot d types. Okay, d types dot index. Okay, now this is our entire data. Now what is meaning of this index? Index means what is meaning of this filter. Now if we have already written this filter here, that means what we are telling him, that data and this columns, that's why it is giving us that this entire data set. That means in meaning of this code is this column names, and similarly that's why it is showing us entire data. That means data, and inside that data I am writing entire column names, that's why it is showing us entire column name, right? Now look at here again, data, and inside that data I am writing data dot d types, data dot d types, and inside of the this data dot d types, now you know what is this d types. D types means this data. Now inside this I am again applying one filter. Now which filter I am applying here? I am applying data dot d types should be equal to object. object, and you have to simply give me that index of that data set. Now this will show us the only data set who is having object. And why we have written this index? Because it is going to tell us only that column name. Okay, now look at here. This is my object data, right? This is having my object data, right? Now I have completely fetched my two types of data set which is having object data. And now tell me what comes under the not equal to object. Not only integer, their float also will come, because we are only writing opposite of object. That means we just don't want object, right? Now this is my non numerical data, and simply look at here, I'm copying this and I'm just doing one change. Now that change is not equal to. Now this is, look at here, this is only numerical data, right? So first of all, write down where you have written till. Okay, write down till here data type dot index. And you have to keep this code uh, in a secure place, because whenever tomorrow you are going to work on any company, so there at the starting point you have to take the reference of this code. That's why keep it as a very private, where you can save it, you can upload on your GitHub. So just remember that, don't delete this file. Okay, now we have written till here is equal to and non is equal to object. Now tell me, uh, if we want the description of this data set, can we get the now description of this data set? Simply we will copy this code and paste down here, and just will apply one filter of describe. Now look at here, and if you look at your first describe, so it is giving you only the description of the numerical data set, right? Only the numerical data set. If you will apply description of this, So tell me, there is any possibility of getting the description of this string data set? It is possible to get the numerical description of this string data set. Now this is having your data set of string. Okay, simply again I will copy this data, and now I am applying the description on it. Now there is, look at here, this description, and look at here, this description. Here is the only basic description. How much count is there? How much unique values are there? Okay, top value, frequently value, right? Now this is the difference. Okay, now we will start to do the analysis of individual single column. So first of all, look at our columns. Now passenger ID is unique column. There is nothing any new thing inside this passenger ID. It is unique number, right? Now we will start with survived. Okay. Now you know what is survived data, and inside this data, now I am taking one single column of data. First of all, survived. I am writing down only, it is capital. Now this is our column, right? Now what we have to do, we have to fetch only the data set who is people survived. Survived means जो लोग नहीं मरे, उन लोगों का अभी हमें एनालिसिस करना है। तो मुझे सबसे पहले ये बात बताओ, जो लोग सर्वाइव्ड है उनको हमने कौन से नंबर से इंडिकेट किया है यहाँ पर? 1 से, right? Now look at here how I am writing this code. Now data, inside this data I am writing down my data of survive. Data of survive. Now you know what is this data of survive? Data and this data of survive. And now the only show me that data who is equal to 1. Okay. Now these are the peoples who are survived there. Now look at here how much people are survived. 342. Now also we can get the description of this, right? Dot. Now this is the only description of who people are survived there. Now there are the count of 342 people who survived there, and what is the minimum value? Okay, that baby of having 4 months, that baby is now survived. Okay, and then who is the maximum person who survived? Okay, there is the person who is having maximum age, that person also survived there. Okay, and okay, now only this can information we are getting from this description by doing this data analysis. Now we have to do the inverse data analysis of this, which is data of my survived column, who is now equal to 0. Now how much people are died there? 549 people died there. Now give me the description of this. Now tell me, can you get this much information in your Excel? And inside the Excel we have to write down entire all these formulas, right? Now look at here, these are the list of First of all, these are the list of people who died there, right? Now, this is the description who are people dead there, right? Now, look at here. There are the count of 549. Now, what is the minimum age that person died there? One. And what is the maximum age? That is 74. Okay. Now, this is the little bit description of survived column. Now, write down. And as a data scientist or a data analyst, mainly you are going to work like this for the analysis process. H where तुमने एज लिखा है नहीं कैपिटल देख लो वहां पर कैपिटल ऐसे नहीं हो सकता यार नहीं नहीं सिंपली क्या करो खुद से हाथ से लिखो ही मत यहाँ पर डबल क्लिक करो और कॉपी करो इसे okay now after this now we want to do the analysis of survived column with their sex that means how much of males are survived and how much are the females are survived there right now for this what we have to do we have to first of all write down this code of of data of sex column and from that sex first of all I am going to select which sex is equal to now uh, equal to okay it is capital or small okay it is having small male now this is the description of only males but I don't want to do the analysis of only males. I want to do the analysis of persons who are there male and who are there survive. Now I have two conditions, right? Now look at here. How can we write down our two conditions? Now my data. Now from my this entire data, I want to first of all data of survived, data of survived, and who is survived equal to 1, right? And after this, what I am doing that after this, I am first of all I will write down in this in a one bracket. Okay, okay. Now you will also get to know about what is this data set. Now after this, I am writing and. Now you know what is this and. We have to check both conditions should be true. And what is my second condition? I want to check the data of which column of sex is equal to male. And now also I am writing down the 1 comma 1 parenthesis for this. Okay. Now look at here. This is the data who are the males and who are survived there. Okay. Now I just don't want there this data. I want the details description of this. I want to detail the description of this. Now there is one more function that you can apply, that is count. Okay. Now what is this count? This is just showing you the count. Now how much are passengers who are the males and who are survived there? 109. And B class. Okay. Okay. Now this is the information, but after this I just, now description is giving me more description, right? Dot. Now this is the description. What was the male? Who was that male? Okay, look at there. There was the baby of 4.2 months. That was a male. Okay, and that person who are having maximum age, that one also male. Okay. Now what we have to do? We have to again do the inverse of this. Now we will do the analysis. Okay. Now can you do this analysis for the female? Now you have four parts. First one is male who are survived. Second thing, males who are not survived. Third thing, males who are survived. And fourth thing, males females who doesn't survive. So can you do this one for today? Okay. That will be interesting for you, and tomorrow you have to tell me. Okay. So you have to write down
Yes, sir.
code from male. Okay. Write down all these things carefully. This data is having only once time. Okay, and that's why I have written this brackets here. Completed. There is just count and the description.